Hello, hello, hello. You will not believe this, but the last video I did and put up was in May, 4 months ago. And I've been feeling awful about not posting. I'm assuming that some of you are wondering, like, what in the heck is going on with this house made out of plastic bricks? What is she doing? Did she abandon the project? Did she come back to the United States? What is going on? So this video is here to just give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to update you. These last few months have been a struggle, and I'll explain why. And I'm going to end with a call to action. So get ready. And again, thanks for being here to hear what's been happening. So two things happened to Halt Construction in May. First thing that happened is I ran a little low on money, especially because I purchased my appliances from Tanzania. And I didn't realize how much it was going to cost to transport them to Kigali. Excuse me. And I didn't realize how much taxes, import taxes, I'd have to pay. And I didn't realize that I had to pay for storage while they sat in a warehouse. I didn't realize that I would have to sit there and watch them unpack, take the packaging, the cardboard off of my washing machine, my dishwasher, my dryer, blah, 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 blah. And then we would have to piece it back together ourselves. It was a nightmare experience, and it was costly. I had no idea how much it was going to cost. So the appliances that I purchased were a washing machine, a separate clothes dryer. And the reason for that is because there are washer dryer machines here in Rwanda, but I did not like them. I had them when I lived in, I used one when I lived in my first apartment, and it would take 3 hours to put in a load of like sheets and have them go through the washer, then go through the dryer. And when you pull them out, they were so wrinkled, and it was like, it was just terrible. So I did not want to use a machine like that. I'm accustomed to what we have in the United States, a separate washing machine that does a great job, and a separate clothes dryer that does a great job. And when your clothes come out of that dryer, you shouldn't even have to iron them if you've pulled them out quickly enough after they finish drying. This is my last house that I'm building, and I'm trying to make my life as easy as I can. So that's why it was important for me to have these appliances. So clothes washing machine, clothes dryer, a dishwasher. I have to wash dishes by hand. And, one of the things that you'll see as people get older, they don't see as well. And so sometimes I catch, I've missed something on a knife or what have you. Or because I've washed it and laid it down to dry, there's spots on it. Of course, they're not as clean because the dishwasher gets them cleaner. So I wanted a dishwasher. I'm not apologizing for any of this, by the way. I'm just telling you what I wanted. The other thing is here they have something called cookers, which we would call an oven. A stove with an oven. So you cook on the top, and inside there's an oven. Problem is you have to use propane gas, which worries me to no end. So I have to use propane gas that's hooked up to the cooker. And there are no temperature indicators on the oven. I had a neighbor who first told me that, and I just couldn't imagine a cooker that didn't have temperature. So you can't put it on 350 degrees. You can't put it on 400. You just have to guesstimate. Same thing with the top, it's gas, so of course you can gauge the gas because you can see it. But that this didn't sit well with me. Didn't like it. So I got a built-in oven. I got something that's called a hob, which is a cooktop. And the kind that I got is a flat surface with the push buttons on it so that I didn't have knobs that I have to worry about cleaning around. In other words, remember, I'm trying to make my life easier. I'm trying to have the amenities that are important to me. So I got that. I also got a kitchen sink. I got a utility sink. And I bought 4 ceiling fans, one for each bedroom, one for the living room, dining room, and one for outside. So I think that's everything. And I also had a faucet that I had purchased earlier, kitchen faucet. Also, I bought that in Rhonda, as well as my bathroom shower fixtures for both bathrooms. I have those as well. So anyway, I'm saying this to say that getting these appliances was very important it was a quality of life issue for me. Right now I wash my own clothes, which is a pain in the patootie. I really want to have an easier way of life when I moved to my house. So that was what was going on with that. The other thing that happened is that my contracting supervisor and I broke up for a few months. And I would say that was largely due to my making unrealistic demands. I've never built a house before, certainly never built a house in Rhonda. I really don't know how to do things in building a house anywhere, but particularly not in Rhonda. And so I think I made some decisions that were insulting to him, that he thought were wasteful, but we'll get into that in a minute. So let's talk about the money. Let's go a little bit more. Let's go on a deeper dive on that. So I was able to obtain a mortgage here in Rhonda. I'm very grateful for that. And I'm going to talk in U.S. money terms so that you guys kind of, can understand. So I would say that the mortgage that I got was probably about $20,000, okay, U.S. And they don't give that all to you at the same time. So they might give you 15,000 the first installment, okay? Then they have a second installment, so I've got 15 left. So let's say they'll give you like 10 the second installment, and then 5,000 for the last installment. And I'll explain why they do that in a minute. Well, with that money, we erected the rainwater. We put up the rainwater harvesting system. We have that. I'm not going to call them gutters, as I said in a previous video, but we're going to call them the rainwater catchment system. So we put that up. We finished that, put up the ceiling, transported the appliances, and we started some of the electrical work. So that money was spent for those items. But in the meantime, there were some intervening variables that really threw a wrench in the game, because these are things that have to come out of my pocket. A few weeks ago, someone broke into my car, which was behind a locked gate in front of my house, and they stole a car battery and my walker. Now, the car battery was an issue in that because the car was so old, it's 20 years old, the battery posts were very tiny. And so the little cords that go around it, I'm not sure what you call it, but the posts on the battery are small. So when they brought the new battery here, they're like, oh, we can't get the little cords around the battery. So they had to take the car. I gave them some tape to kind of hold those little cords around the posts or next to the posts or on the post. I forget what they did. Anyhow, I gave them some tape so they could get out, so they could get back to the shop. They had to file down the battery posts in order for my little cords to fit over those posts. Forgive me, I don't know the name of that, the little metal loop that goes over it. So that was an interesting thing. The worst was the loss of my walker, because since that time I have been dealing with really, really bad sciatica. And having the walker would have really helped me to stay busy, to continue to walk, and it really would have helped. But without it, I've been kind of stuck at home. I got a walking stick, and I just learned how to use it a week or so ago. But I feel off balance because I'm only using it on the right side. And with the walker, I could use both hands. It was just great for walking. I could literally run with it. I can put things on the seat and carry things. I mean, it was just, I love my walker. So that is gone. I put out a reward for it in hopes that somebody might bring it back. So far, nothing. So my mechanic knows somebody who does furniture, and I gave him a picture of the walker, and he said he could make me one. So that should be going on now, and I'm hoping to get a replacement this week. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking down because I had to write notes so I didn't forget anything. Also, last week or so, you know how you guys have the missions that you have to do every year. They have something similar here, except they don't limit it to emissions. They just kind of check the roadworthiness of your car. And so last year they told me I needed to get shocks, which I did. This year they told me I needed a new paint job on my car. And I'm like, really? Really? It's just paint. So I've got to get my car painted. So that's more money that's coming out of my pocket that can't go towards my house. I also had a colonoscopy. That costs money. I'm going to ongoing physical therapy sessions for my sciatica. I paid for security cameras to go up around the house that I'm renting. And in return, I got a reduction on the rent, and I moved into a new place in May. and the reason I moved into the place is I was so tired of living in that little dumpy place where I was. I had 2 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. No, 2 bedrooms, two baths, no half bath. My cats really couldn't go outside because people like to leave their doors open and the cats would wander into other tenants' apartments. One lady said, "Yeah, he was in my bedroom," and I have no idea this is going on. One day, Ray, my son, the male cat, came into the house with a piece of meat, and I'm like, "Where'd you get this?" I mean, I was just shocked that he had. Oh, by the way, here's Ray right here, sitting next to me. I'm telling on you. I'm telling about how you stole the meat. Okay. So he came in with this meat, and I'm like, "Where'd you get this?" So I don't know where it's from. Coming from the United States, you tend to think the worst. So I thought, oh my God, this could be poison. So I took it from him, and I threw it away. And he comes back with another piece. And I'm like, oh my God. So it was really difficult letting the cats out to get some fresh air. So I decided I needed to move. I was thinking the place would that my house would get finished pretty soon, so I'd only have to be at a new place for a few months. So I'm now at a house that's much nicer. It's a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath, 2 stories. I mainly am on the first floor, but there's upstairs, there's 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, balconies. I mean, it's a very nice house. And it's new construction, which I love. So, but when I moved into the new place, my rent trebled. I went round and around thinking, is it trebled or tripled? Anyhow, my rent went up about 3 times. Okay, so that was a little difficult. So after the burglary, I was able to negotiate getting the rent down in exchange for purchasing the security camera system, which will remain after I leave. So that worked out. I feel safer now. I've improved their property. And that's something I've always tried to do whenever I've moved somewhere, is leave it in a better state than the way I found it. So like my first apartment, I left the landlord with an itemized list of all the utensils and pots and pans and dishes and things that were there, so that he would know, what should be there when a tenant, leaves. So that was one way I tried to help him. With the second one, I put a what do you call it, grab bar in the shower. So again, that was helpful. So again, I always try to leave it a little better than I found it. So, and I've done that with this place too, with the security camera. So I'm happy about that. All right, so I'm thinking, with all these expenses and blah, 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 I need to earn some more money. So I took a course to teach me how to teach English online. And I did pretty well in that I completed all the modules. There were 5 modules, but I couldn't pass 2 of the tests. I just couldn't. Well, one reason is because I didn't agree with some of their teaching methodology. And another reason is because I'm old school and I learned Spanish a certain way, and I think a lot of learning a new language is just memorization. So I just had some difficulties with what they were teaching, and I couldn't complete the assignments to their satisfaction. And I kept having to spend money to extend the course, and I'm like, okay, I'm doing all this for like $10 an hour? I don't think so. So I passed 3 out of 5 modules, but I didn't pass 2. All right, so that's the money stuff. Now, in terms of the unrealistic demands, now let me just stop for a minute, because I'm seeing that this video is giving me only another minute and 20 seconds. So I am going to continue going, and when it gets down to 19 minutes, which is in about 30 seconds, I guess I'll need to stop, and then we'll have a part 2, because I don't want the video to just shut off. Okay, that's it.